But I want to show you two examples today, two paintings that at first glance you wouldn't think are related, but actually have pretty much the exact same composition. And by doing this, I hope that you can begin to identify what composition is. How often do you feel like your painting is missing something, but you just can't figure out what it is? There are three foundations to a successful painting. Number one is values, the lightness and darkness. Number two is color. Number three is composition. Composition and value are the most important. But many beginner artists could take their art to the next level if they understood this idea of composition and design. So let's try to simplify composition, break it down a little bit, and see if we can figure out this elusive but important concept. Now first, before we get started, I want you to think about your painting a little bit differently. I want you to think about a painting, a scene, like it's a story. Instead of a flat, two-dimensional scene, I want you to think about it like it's just a frame in a movie, like it's going somewhere, like it's trying to say something. What is the story trying to say? Where is it going? What's going on? What's the mood? What's the atmosphere? Your composition is incredibly important in telling that story. Now, in every story, there is a hero. And that hero in your painting will be your focal point. That's the point where you want to direct your viewers, where you want people to end up and dwell the longest. But everything around that hero is what makes it the hero. The whole story, the whole flow, the beginning, the middle, the end, all of that comes together to tell a story. And the same is true in your painting and your focal point and your hero. Everything around it needs to point to, lead to, guide the viewer to that hero, that focal point, to support it. Hey, real quick, I want to cut in here and tell you about our Pastel Workshop mentorship community. It's an awesome space where we have a lot of pastelists who are on this journey together, giving feedback, critiquing, encouraging one another, giving some inspiration. It's a great place, great community. It's over on a platform called Skool, S-K-O-O-L. So skool.com/pastel-workshop. If you head on over there, you can find that community. It's free to join. And while you're there, if you decide you want to upgrade, we have a premium tier available as well, and you'll get access to full-length courses about color harmony for pastelists, mark making, developing an intentional daily creativity habit. And so if you head on over there, you can join the free community, but also check out those courses available if you upgrade. All right, let's get back to the video. Now, just like with a movie or a book, there's many ways to tell a story. You know, you've got comedies, romance, action, adventure. And the same is true with painting and composition as well. There are so many ways to arrange your elements and to design your scene and your composition. So for example, you can have a radial composition where you have an element that's your focal point that's somewhere in your canvas or in your paper, and you have lines that point to it, like the spokes on a wheel. You can also have an arrangement of composition where you have elements that are similar but different sizes. So think about two different trees, three different trees. You have one large one and then maybe a smaller one to the side, and those can balance each other out in a composition and work nicely. You can also have a path type composition, whether it's a road or a river or a creek that leads you somewhere into the distance or to a focal point. But in all those cases, there's a hero, there's a story, there's mood, there's atmosphere, there's color, there's value, there's all of that. But at the bottom of it, behind all of that, the foundation is the design and the story you're trying to tell with that design. So I'm going to start by showing you two different paintings here. And before we go any further, before I say anything about them, I want you to just take a minute to look at both of them and just compare the two. Now, if you need to, you can stop the video in front of each one. So here's the first painting. Scene of a field, bunch of sage and willow up in the mountains in Colorado. All right, and here's the second painting, a creek scene, which I love to do. I love to paint water. This is Crooked Creek in North Arkansas. All right, now let me put them side by side so we can see them together, and let's try to pick out what they do have in common compositionally. First of all, an important principle in composition, generally speaking, is not to center your focal point. Don't put your focal point, your hero of your story, in the middle of the piece. There are times where you break that rule, but in general, it's just a good rule of thumb to follow. Put your focal point at one of the 1/3 points in your scene. So one of the first things we notice about these two scenes is the focal point, the hero in each scene is in the same location, in that same 1/3 intersection in the upper left. So the second thing that's pretty obvious is that in both of these scenes, we've lowered our view, we've lowered our angle of view so that the field in the one is taking up the lower 2/3 and the water in the other one is taking up the lower 2/3. So in both cases, the field or the water, they take up most of the scene. Now, something maybe not so obvious, let's think about the objects in each of these scenes that are more defined and recognizable, like trees or mountains. Those all appear in the upper third of each scene. And the lower 2/3 is dedicated to a part of the scene that is much more ambiguous in a way, much more indistinct. We have a bunch of grasses and sages and willows in one. We have just some ripples and waves and water in the other. So thinking generally about these two scenes compositionally, they follow some pretty core principles to composition. First of all, they're not divided in the middle in any way. The horizon line or any lines going horizontally, they do not appear in the middle of the painting. They're lifted. They're at the 1/3 line up higher in the painting. Also, the hero or the focal point in each of these scenes is not in the middle, which again, you can be done, but generally speaking, you want to move your focal point, your hero, off of center and put it at a 1/3 intersection. And in both of these cases, we have that at that upper left 1/3 intersection. But what I want you to really notice about these two scenes is what happens in the lower 2/3. Because again, it could be just a bunch of grasses that are a little bit ambiguous or just a bunch of water that's just kind of there. And this is pretty key compositionally. It's pretty key when you're trying to organize the elements in a painting and tell a story. Even parts of a scene that are just filled with grasses or filled with water that feel like maybe they should be one color, they really are not in real life, and they shouldn't be in your painting. And they're a great opportunity compositionally to tell more of your story. So focusing in on the grasses in the one piece and the water in the other piece. Forget the rest for just a moment. Let's just cut out and just focus there. What do we notice about the arrangement in those grasses, the arrangement in the water? If you look closely, they're actually very, very similar in how they can lead your eye through the scene. In the one, there's almost a path with these subtle darks that are placed in the scene that bring you first a little to the left and then off to the right. And then you get up to where the lights appear, and then you brought back over to where that focal point is. Now, check that out in the water scene. Same thing. We have this line of ripples, little waves, bringing us up to the left a little bit, and then another line bringing us off to the right, and then we hit that shoreline in the distance, and then we follow that all the way to the left to our focal point. So we have almost a zigzag feel that I established in the grasses and in the water that would lead you back to where there's a little bit more recognizable detail and objects in the scene. And this may be the most important lesson that you can learn in composition, other than maybe the basic foundational compositional ideas that are incredibly important. But when you move beyond the basics, this is where your composition can really start to shine. When you start to make decisions in other areas other than the focal point, in areas other than the main objects of the scene. What are you doing with your large stretches of grasses and fields and your large sections of water and your large sections of cloud or sky? What are you doing in those areas that are going to tell a story and lead the viewer to a point, to the hero, to the focal point of your story? Now, one thing you can do to help train yourself in composition in this story idea is every painting you see, even every good photograph you see, ask yourself, what is this story about? What is this composition about? What's the focal point? Why does this look good in terms of the arrangement of elements? Because it's not just about color or the right lights and darks or the mark making or the brushwork or the lighting. It's about the design and the composition. The way that elements are laid out in the scene is very important to make that scene dynamic, to make it stand out, to make it pop a bit more. And that's composition.